Woke up with a lot on my mind today. A lot of it's stemming from that Super Bowl last night. Obviously, unless you're sleeping under a rock, you know BadBunny performed last night. And unless you're sleeping under a political rock, you already know a lot of people had a problem with it. But before I get into any of them, let me just say BadBunny did his thing, as we probably all predicted that he would. See, BadBunny, I didn't understand the words you were saying, but guess what? I understood the vibes and I understood the storytelling. I understood the little Easter eggs that you were dropping with the set, with some of the characters that you displayed. And I damn sure understood when you brought out that 5-year-old little boy that Ice kidnapped, by the way. And of course, when the initial numbers came in for viewership, BadBunny blew Turning Point USA's halftime show out by about 120 million viewers. So, before we get into the negative, shout out to BadBunny for that, because he did his thing. Bonito! Now let's get into all the people that were crying about this halftime show, because they were the same people crying about last year's halftime show. They were the same people crying about that Beyonce and Coldplay and Bruno Mars halftime show, ironically in the same stadium, by the way. They were also the same ones complaining about the Dr. Dre halftime show. Pretty much anything that isn't country or rock, they complain about it. Oh, but then they still complain about rock if it's not conservative enough, because we had Green Day, one of the best rock bands of all time, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. They performed before the game. They were awesome, predictable. What I find ironic is that these people complain that country music isn't headlining the halftime show. Country music is not even the most popular genre of music in this country. BadBunny is the #1 streamed artist in the world. That means in the world. Not the little bubble, your small town that you call the world. Not America, which that's a whole nother conversation about how people call the United States America and then just leave it at that, like there's not Canada, South America, Central America, etc. But I digress, right? I just find it ironic that the side that has continuously called another side snowflakes for years now gets in an uproar, gets in an uprising about these little things like music being performed in between quarters of a football game. What I find even more ironic is that the president of the United States, who supposedly wasn't going to be watching the halftime show because BadBunny was performing, immediately sent out a post on Truth Social criticizing the halftime show that he said he wasn't watching. I thought you were one of those 5 million viewers watching Kid Rock run this nostalgia act, lip syncing, by the way. But see, I think this BadBunny performance and a lot of other performances in recent years brings up a bigger point. We've seen a lot of people call what we're going through in this time spiritual warfare, and I couldn't agree more. But I do think a lot of people's focus is aimed in the wrong way. You're not going to win spiritual warfare by thinking you're going to take on Trump himself every single day. You know, back when the Diddy trial first started, my wife and I were saying to a lot of people and having conversations amongst ourselves about how people are so obsessed with Diddy right now, but they're not obsessed with the Diddies that are in their own household, in their own family, that are touching kids in their family. So like you can focus all this attention on this celebrity that's in this trial that you've never met nor will ever meet. You've never even met his victims, nor will you meet his victims. You will never meet the Punisher. Just won't. But when that weird uncle of yours and the little kids keep saying that he's touching them in weird places, you kind of just ignore it. Oh, he would never do that. Oh, him? No, he's not the type. Oh, what? What? Girl, that girl just fast. You guys know how she is. You realize it's the same concept here and now with this whole Donald Trump situation, right? I understand Donald Trump is the leader of the free world. He's the leader of this country. He's the president. Everything he does is technically going to affect you. I completely understand that. This is not to cast that aside or minimize that. However, this is to say, how many people do you know in your own personal life that you see posting some very, very questionable things on their social medias? Are you saying anything to those people? Are you sparking conversations with them? Are you trying to steer them back in the right direction? Or are you just saying, oh, that's just grandpa? Oh, that's just Steve. He's just like that. Whatever, you know, me and him get along great though. Or are you going to start calling this stuff out? Because the moment that you post something, they're looking at you the same way. And odds are they're going to call you out about something that they didn't like. And odds are it's going to be nothing that's even justifiable for being called out. You're trying to make posts about being anti-ICE because they are terrorizing our streets, picking up random brown and black people and just throwing them in the trucks never to be seen again. And they're going to try to convince you that you hate America and you hate law enforcement because you hate that they're doing that. Meanwhile, ICE agents aren't even real law enforcement. Our police officers and our communities are even starting to stand up to ICE. So what does that tell you about it? The point is, we are in a time where these little battles, these wars, this big spiritual warfare is taking place on a small level. And if you're not attacking it on a small level, if you're not starting to call out the people that you call friends, nothing's going to change. You see, Trump is just a catalyst. What I have said hesitantly throughout Donald Trump's presidency is that him becoming president has been the best thing that could have ever happened to America. And why? Because it lifted up the veil. See, for far too long, we were living amongst each other, not knowing what each other truly thought about one another. And then when Donald Trump came in, people started getting brave. We started figuring out who everybody is. And you have to move accordingly now that you know who everybody is. It's not possible to just ignore it. Oh, it's just politics. No, everything is political. Your life is political now. Whether you like it or not, you can't run from it. I used to try to run from it too. I didn't like getting into politics. I still hate politics. My wife says, oh, you'd make a great politician. I don't want to be a politician. I hate politics. But guess what? Politics has become life now. It is what it is. So, I say all this to say, what are we doing to check the people in our everyday lives? What are we doing to, I don't know, take those Steves in our lives, those grandpas, those racist grandmas, and steering them in the correct direction, telling them that they're wrong? So, of course, BadBunny did his thing. We all knew he was going to do his thing. We all knew racist Karens and Kens were all going to be upset about it, and it is what it is. They said they were going to turn into Turning Point USA, but odds are they didn't turn into that because they wanted to tune into BadBunny so they could complain about it online afterwards. That's what they do, but it's all good because, as BadBunny said, the only thing stronger than hate is love. So spread love and teach other people around you to spread love and stop letting them get away with spewing hate. That's all I got to say.